We're allowed.
No,
It's just a lot.
Wow. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for being here.
I was just saying this story. As always, it's like it's always happening.
Yes.
What is this?
It's about the word unique fits in.
Yes, that is true. That is true. No, that's true. I'm grateful for it. I will very. So I was a combined student. I was an Indiana. Different places. Yeah. Yeah, everybody, you know, what they are. I'm so much to meet folks, and I get a chance to have some coffee here, have meals together. Yeah. I'm here. Really, nice to meet you.
Isn't that great? You know, I had something for you. Sitting right on my purse, and I grabbed my purse and I forgot. It was a first siblings bike riding tomorrow morning.
I love it.
And it helps reduce survivors. Then they're gonna.
Always good. That's rare.
I think I'm gonna move these down closer.
Need help?
That'll be okay, thank you. Actually, you don't mind doing this? That would be great. Just feel like they're always far away from me, and then I need to see them in order to remember to do the thing. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. Okay. Too close to me now? All right. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'm going to invite you to turn to your neighbor if there's somebody you haven't met yet or somebody you haven't seen in a while and wish them Shabbat Shalom. Look behind you, look around you. Really, yay. I like this tradition. I think it's nice. I'm so happy you're here. We're going to continue with bringing Shabbat in with music and joy and song. And celebrating the fact that it is actually getting a little warmer today. So, Michigan, here we are. I just want to offer a word of gratitude for all of your presence this evening. Thank you for being here, for making Shabbat holy. There's this saying of like, Shabbat has kept the Jewish people the way that Jewish people have kept Shabbat, backwards, like. And I feel that presence in our community allows us to be together, and I feel really grateful for that. So we're going to light the candles this evening. We are on page 9. Welcome if you're at home. I invite you to also light your candles. I know it's kind of early in the evening, but we're going to do it. We're here together. So something else I want to say, which is I'm going to talk a little bit more about it in a little bit, but I'm sure oh God, do you know this could happen? Oh, great. Thank you, Jan. I'm sure some of you saw today that the guilty verdict came down in the Pittsburgh case. I, as you know, those are my people, that's my hometown, and I am just wanting to light these Shabbat candles in honor of all of those 11 folks, in honor of their memories, in honor of the fact that they can't light Shabbat candles tonight with their families. We sort of expected a guilty verdict. The question, of course, is what happens next. But I just wanted to put the intention out into the world that I'm lighting candles for all of those folks who we lost as well. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת. We are on page 10. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni L'Shalom Malachei Hashalom Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zeichem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So, we're going to continue with the Chadodi, which you will find on page 14, welcoming Shabbat in song and joy. I know that we've talked about this a little bit before, but the idea of Lecha Dodi, of welcoming the Sabbath presence literally into our midst as we stand and rise and face the door, is something that we can think about all, like, in this prayer, they talk about kala, like the bride, which is gendered, not my favorite thing, but the idea of marrying all of the parts of God and all the parts of Shabbat all together to be one in presence with us. So will you join me? Lecha lecha dodi, lika lika kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, lika lika kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nekabela. La 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 lecha dodi, lika lika kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, lika lika kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmi'anu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem el tiferet v'lin chila la 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 lecha dodi, lika lika kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha lecha dodi, lika lika kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Likrat Shabbat lehu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor haberacha, mirosh mikadam nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'mashavat chila la 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 lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Hitoreri, kiva orech kumiori, uri shir daberi, kavod Adonai ailech nila la lecha dodi, lika kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi, lika kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam v'simcha u'v'tzola, toch emuneh segula. Boi chala, lecha dodi, lika kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi, lika kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nekavela. I am always looking for ways to offer more words of praise. I think it's helpful for my brain and all of our brains to reset in that way. So we're going to do Chatzi Kaddish, which separates, of course, the parts of our service and is a long string of praise. We're on page 17. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabba, ve'alma divarach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchayetecho beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv, v'yimeru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach, le'olam olam me'omaya, yiparach v'yishtabach, v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha barichu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, ta'amiran me'alma, ve'imeru amen. I invite you to rise and join me. We are on page 18. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. As we bless the source of life, So we are blessed, and our blessing gives us strength and makes our visions clear. And our blessing gives us peace and the courage to dare. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. I invite you to be seated. Will you join me in the English on the top of page 20? Somewhere at the fringes of night, the shadows of darkness soften, and earth comes alive with hints of light. My heart fills with fresh, bright hope, and the world stirs to give birth to color. Colors are secrets not seen in the dark, like the promise of God when darkness is visible. Creator, you who bring dawn from the darkness, break the used goblets of my yesterdays. Let me find wisdom in the shards and grow in knowledge of your eternal presence. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Almighty One, who makes the evenings fall. Amen. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu lemadata, Otanu lemadata. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu v'shachbenu, Kumeinu nasiach bechukecha, V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, U'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negeh yomam v'layla, negeh yomam v'layla. Va'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael, Ohev amo Yisrael. I invite you to take a breath, to get settled in your body. As we turn towards the Shema, these words that have sustained our people for generations, I invite you to do whatever you need to do to connect those words and embody them in your soul. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha uvechol nafshecha
ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'edar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele. מלכותך ראו בניך, חוקי הים לבני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. We are going to pray in the English at the bottom, like the middle part of page 26. You join me, please. Help us to lie down, Adonai our God, in peace, and let us rise again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Decree for us a worthy daily lot, and redeem us for the sake of your great name, and enfold us in the wings of your protection. For you are our redeeming guardian. Truly a sovereign, gracious, and compassionate God are you. Guard our going forth each day for life and peace, now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, spreads your canopy of peace over all your people, Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. I invite you to rise and join me on page 51 for the Amidah. Adonai, Ananana sfatai tiftach, Ananana ufi agid tehilatecha, Ananana Adonai, Ananana sfatai tiftach, Ananana ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai. Ananana svatai titach. Ananana ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzhak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Leah v'Elohei Rachel Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Abraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai. Mechayei hakol ata rav lehoshia. Mechalkel chayim bechesed. Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofei cholim. Umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umido melech, melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol. Baruch ata Adonai mechayei hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kdoshim b'chol yom yahalu chasela. Baruch ata Adonai ha'el hakadosh. We're going to continue with Vishamru on page 55. I invite you to be seated, if you'd like. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et hashavat la'asot et hashavat ledorotam v'rit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et hashavat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. I'm going to invite you now to pray silently. You can use the words of the several blessings following this moment on the next several pages, or the prayers of your heart. You can stand, you can sit, whatever you want to do, and we'll join back together in a few moments. Adonai Tsuri, Adonai Tsuri, Vegoali, Vegoali. 61. Well, my friends, as I often say, being Jewish means holding a lot of truths at the same time. It means joy for Shabbat and sadness for to see yet another thing happening in the Pittsburgh trial. It means understanding that we can pray for healing and at the same time pray for peace for somebody. It means, we see it in our weddings where we break a glass and understand that, like, even in most joyous moments, once something's broken, sometimes it can't be repaired. Although I did hear a teaching recently that I liked better, that I think I'm going to start using, which is that, may your love last as long as it would take to put back all the pieces of this glass in the same way that it was built, which I think that's nicer, to be honest with you. So you can use that. You can pass it on. But I was planning to talk with you all about the Torah portion of the speech, which of course I will talk about, which is Shlach Lecha, which is the moment in which God sends spies into the land of Israel, and 12 of them, 10 of them come back and say, absolutely not, there's no way, this land can't be our land. And then Joshua and Caleb come back and say, yeah, it's going to be hard, but we're going to figure it out. And so then God makes them wander in the desert for 40 years because the generation doesn't think that the generation that went in is really ready for it. And tomorrow at the bat mitzvah, you're going to hear, if you're here, this is one of the more impressive bat mitzvah speeches I've ever, she wrote it, it's great. So come tomorrow morning, we're going to have a nice time. But of course, this afternoon, once I got the news, you guys know that my dad, who's a law professor, he's been working with the 1027 partnership, which is the healing partnership that's been working in Pittsburgh, to sort of do some teaching on what's actually going on. Because people have a lot, when it comes to law, we all have a lot of feelings, and then there are like, what does it actually say? And I was telling him today, actually, that I'm really grateful that he's doing that, because he's somebody who can offer the unique intersection of having experienced this particular tragedy and caring very deeply for the Pittsburgh community and understanding specifically these kinds of laws. Not to say that the intersection of Jews and lawyers is not small, it's big. But I'm really, I was grateful for that. And then, of course, I'm reminded that this kind of moment can bring up deep sadness and pain. And sometimes we don't react rationally or respond in the way we're thinking we're going to respond. Right? The anniversary of a death, somebody's birthday, a moment where we remember something painful, as the years go by, we think, oh, it's going to feel like this, and then sometimes it's not that. So today I'm feeling grateful for truth. I'm holding the pain of the families who are still having to hear this over and over, and it's in the news and it's everywhere. The pain of my neighbors and friends who lost people. I'm also holding the reality of the justice system, which I can't help but have, because my pops, who teaches about like, okay, what are the next steps and what's going to really happen. Which if you're interested in that, he's doing another talk for them, I think, so I can send out the link if people want to go to that on Zoom. And the fact that while the verdict was reached today, this is not the sentencing part of this, and then where do we Jews fall on the death penalty, and how do we deal with that, and then each individual family has their own specific feelings about it. And then I was thinking about this today, and I'm remembering what our bat mitzvah is going to teach tomorrow, which is like a little preview. That you can feel afraid or sad and do something anyway. She came up with that. I didn't tell her to say that. It does sound like me, that doesn't it? But that's how I'm feeling. Like, I feel a little afraid. I feel sad. And I also feel grateful that we're going to have some closure. And I feel lucky for the community that Pittsburgh is, and the way that we've come together, and how connected I feel to the place still. Yeah, but Joshua and Caleb like taught that lesson in Shlach. Like, yeah, okay, God, you sent us out. We're going to go. We're going to tell you this land is not going to be easy to conquer. It's not going to be an easy place to just go in. We're not going to be able to walk in and say, hey, and put up our tents. But we can do it. It's just going to take strategy and work and effort. And I think that's the same thing with grief, too. Like, we think grief is going to look one way. And we have to look at the world and say, maybe it's not going to be this angle that I thought. And I'm going to have to find a way to live with this grief and carry it with me, and to grow and move forward, but also not move forward and feel stuck and unstuck. And it's like molasses-y, slow going. And in a world of like instant gratification and like a thing that, you want the dopamine hit right away, you just pick up your phone and you're good to go. I guess I'm feeling a little grateful for the molasses-iness of grief, because I think it reminds me of the sweetness of life and the joy of living. Yeah, I'm grateful to Joshua and Caleb today, because they said, it's going to be hard, but we can do it. And that's sort of how I felt all day today. So my prayer for you this Shabbat, I guess, is that if you're moving through something hard, you can accept that reality and at the same time know that sweetness and joy exist as well. It's okay for something to feel slow. It doesn't have to be an urgent answer. And while we may never feel true closure of grief, because grief doesn't really end, I guess my other prayer is that we feel okay growing around the grief. So thank you for letting me share my thoughts on this evening. I'm obviously still processing it and continue to. But I feel really, every time we're in community, as you know, I feel so grateful. And some of that is because of the solitary time that I spent in here all by my lonesome. And some of that is because our community is so beautiful and warm and welcoming and allows me to feel exactly how I'm feeling and show up exactly as I am. And I hope all of you feel that way too. Shabbat shalom, everybody. I'll work together and in community. Our thoughts turn to the people in Shir Tikva's circles who are in need of healing, who are in need of healing of body and of mind and of spirit. This evening we're thinking of Stephanie Huey, Harriet Silverman, Marcia Singer, Evelyn Bednarsh, Mary Pat Lichtman, Jacqueline Harris, Larry Littman, Ted Golden, Richard and Joe Koski, Mickey Berg, Sharon Burns, Barbara Saul, Marlo Berg, Tom Rutten, and David Neal. If you are at home this evening, I invite you to say the names of the people that you are thinking of who are in need of healing out loud. You can say them in your space or share them online. And if you are here in the building, I invite you to either stand or raise your hand, whatever's easier, to share the names of the people you are thinking of this evening who are in need of healing.
Ina Siegel, Jim Watt, Spurgeon Hall.
Julie Brown. Mary Shelley. Ellen Blair. Elizabeth.
Join together in Misha Berach on page 67. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Before we go to Elenu and then conclude our service, Andy Isola, I think it's announcement time, my friend. Oh, wait. No, this is weird because, okay, the first announcement is thank you to Andy and Beth Isola for generously sponsoring tonight's pre-night before services. Weird for you to give that announcement, so I'll do it. Do you want to do it from your microphone? Yeah, thanks. So people can hear you.
These mics are live.
They are live and working. Can you believe?
Live. You know, it occurred to me some time ago, and I don't want to divert too much,
Please.
but our streaming of this is kind of like our very own SNL,
Yes.
but it's Shabbat Night Live. So live from Troy. It's Friday night. Okay. Enough levity.
Only if you'll be the Don Pardo to my Lorne Michaels. Then
It's Friday night. Okay. All right. Take us out to the ball game with seats in the shade. Shir Tikva travels to see the Tigers on Saturday, July 11th for a 6:10 p.m. game against the San Diego Padres. Grab your seats now at shirtikva.org. Spend an amazing weekend with Shir Tikva friends and family at Camp Tikva on the beautiful shores of Lake Huron this August 25th through 27th. Personally, it's my favorite event of the year. I love it, and that's why I'm on the committee. New this year, Camp Tikva sweatshirts available for purchase. Register for camp and buy sweatshirts at shirtikva.org, of course. Our Pride Month celebrations continue. Come visit us at Rochester's Pride in the Park next Saturday, June 24th from 1 to 4 p.m. Contact Lorelei Berg if you would like to volunteer. The Lunch and Learn series on the second Tuesday of each month will continue through the summer months, thanks to Larry Booker, who will be facilitating. Have you been joining us either in person or virtually for Shabbat services and are interested in membership or religious school? Please contact our executive director, Lorelei Berg, at info@shirtikva.org with questions or to learn more. Thank you for your attention. Shabbat Shalom.
Now that I know Friday Night Live is an option, you get ready. We're going to continue with Elenu, which you will find on page 74. I invite you all to rise. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו גוי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים, משתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. I invite you to take a seat for a moment. I'm on page 77. After a while, we learn the subtle difference between holding a hand and chaining a soul. And we learn that love doesn't mean leaning, and company doesn't always mean security. And we learn that kisses aren't contracts and presents aren't promises. And we begin to accept our defeats with our heads up and our eyes straight forward. And we learn to build all our roads on today, because tomorrow's ground is too uncertain for plans, and futures have a way of falling down in mid-flight. After a while, we learn that even sunshine burns if we ask too much. So, we plant our own gardens and decorate our own souls instead of waiting for someone to bring us flowers. And we learn that we really can endure, and that we really are strong, and that we really have worth. And we learn with every goodbye. We learn. Today, we are in a period of Shiva, the first 7 days of mourning for Edith Bernstein, our beloved congregant and friend. This week, we also recall the yard sites, the anniversary of the deaths of Ellen Silverstein Wallace, sister of Michael Silverstein. Ruth Baker, mother of Judy Lesson. Bob Henkel, husband of Sheila Henkel and our beloved friend. Melita Nutman, mother of Diane Katz. Helga Kay, mother of Marcia Singer. Rose Davis, mother of Les Davis. And Sally and Sam Solomon, parents of Robert and Rita. If there's anybody else you are remembering this evening whose name you'd like to share aloud with our community, I invite you to do that. We rise and join together for the Kaddish Tome, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 78. Yitkadal v'kadash shemei Rabbah be'alma divara chirute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Israel ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudashah brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min Shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace bring peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, here and everywhere, to which we say, Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru ve'imru. Amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. I invite you to be seated. We're going to conclude this evening with Olam Chesed Yibaneh. One of the things they tell you in rabbi school is never to go backwards in the Siddur, because it really it doesn't allow people to have hope that the service is ever going to be over. But this is our last one, so I feel like it's okay. We're on 75. This feels like the prayer that I need in order to live in the world today, so I hope you'll join me. Olam chesed yibane, yadadai, dai, yadadai, dai. 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 I will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. And you will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. And if we build this world from love, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Then God will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibane. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Good Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom. May it be a Shabbat of healing, of ease, and of a little joy. Or a lot of joy. A ton of joy. Amen, amen. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thanks for being here.